Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody feeling tonight?
All right.
You're gonna feel much better after you hear what I got to say. I wrote it because sometimes I stutter, and so I don't want to stutter, so I make my notations. Greetings to all. On behalf of the surviving brothers, I want to extend my appreciation and thanks to all for coming out to support us on our 55th third year. My name is Che Nieves, and I am an Attica brother, and I'm very proud of being one. I've been in the struggle for the last 63 years. The prison struggle woke me up when I was 17. Since then till now, I've been fighting injustices, exploitation, racism. In 1969, I was chairman of the Young Law's Party at Attica Prison. I want to begin by saying, prison is no joke. Once you enter its doors, you lose all your identity as a human being and become a slave for the state in which you're in. You are a number by which you are identified. You're not considered a human being any longer. You are less than human. You lose all your rights as a human being. If you've never been in prison or jail, then take a moment, one moment, and imagine being in one. Just close your eyes and imagine being in one. How does it feel? That's my reality as far as prison is concerned. It is a scary imagination. Something very spooky enters your mind and takes over. Attica Prison has not changed at all. And I repeat it, at all. It has new names for old policies and methods. Segregation is now called Residential Rehabilitation Unit. It's ridiculous. There's no such thing as rehabilitation in no prison whatsoever. In essence, it covers up for abuse, torture, and murder. Segregation is very far away from the general population, and that's specifically designed that way for reasons. So whatever happens, the population has no awareness of it, nor does the general public. Segregation is a scary place to be in. In my 15 years, I was in segregation about 50 times, standing up against inhumane treatment, fighting against racism and exploitation. Attica remains what it was in 1971. The food is cold and lousy. Plus it's half cooked. Medical services remain the same. One aspirin pill for whatever illness you may have. That's ridiculous. You go there for something severe, and they give you an aspirin. That's how they do it in Attica. Your mail is constantly being censored. Many times it's being banned for no reason. Spanish mail or visitation is forbidden for lack of translation. You know, it's really something, man, when Spanish people come to visit their loved ones and they don't speak English. You can't get in. Why? Because you don't even know how to talk English. So there's a lack of translation there. It's not their fault, it's the prison's fault. I've been informed that they now give 2 showers. Wow. Not 1. 2 is still unacceptable. People need 7 showers a week. People work every day. Why can't they take a shower? Why 2 times a week? That's ridiculous. What happens with the rest of the week? You remain dirty? We need to stay focused on what's happening at Attica. In 2021, a brother by the name of William Blake, if anybody heard of him, after years of segregation and torture and segregation, he was released to the general population. He then requested to get mental health treatment because segregation does impact the mind. But it was denied to him. If you spend many years in segregation, it does impact your mental abilities. Nothing has come out of this situation. For what we know, people are still sent to segregation and being tortured, abused, and mistreated. Still happening right now as we talk. Somebody probably getting beat up in segregation for no reason whatsoever. On September 13, 1971, at Attica Prison, people were being shot, abused, tortured, and murdered. 40 people were killed and hundreds left in the yard severely injured. We were forced to crawl face down on a wetty ground, and it was raining on that Monday. Many of us were unable to move due to gunshot wounds. In spite of how we felt, we still were forced to crawl. A helicopter flew over us early in the morning of September 13. I thought it was Castro coming to get me. I thought it was Castro coming to get me out of prison, but it wasn't Castro. And dropped a very horrible gas that impacted many of us in many ways. I, for one, lost my vision for a few moments. In addition, that gas irritated my skin. We then heard someone say, "Surrender to your nearest officer and you will not be harmed." How the hell could you surrender when it was foggy? You couldn't even see where you was going. How could you surrender to a guard? It's impossible. That was a lie. It was a lie because as people were surrendering, people were getting shot. Getting shot. You surrender to the nearest whoever, and you get shot. As people were surrendering, they were being shot, as I said before. And killed. Plus the yard was too foggy. You couldn't see where you were going. As I crawled, I heard people yelling and dropping to the ground. During this period, people were being tortured and abused. I felt someone boots on my back and head. They were saying, "Move, nigga, move." The gas was powerful enough for us to surrender. There was no need for shooting. Actually, there was no need for shooting. The gas itself accomplished its purpose. Sure. Nevertheless, they didn't come in to have a party, by not shooting. They came in to kill. I also heard God saying it was white power time. Niggas must die. Saying they used the term again, but that's what it was happening. It seems as if they were having a wonderful time killing and abusing people. I also felt urine on my back. Somebody was almost on top of me, and they were urinating on my back. While someone continuously kept on kicking my ribs, my legs, my arms, my back, and my head. They were kicking me all over the place. But I'm not the only one. There was other people as well that they were doing it too. During this period, a lie was being sent out to the public. That lie was that we, the prisoners, killed the hostages. They were lying. That's why many people outside was so nervous and so upset, because they were being fed. Every time something happened, some guy would run out and lie to them and tell them that we were hurting on hostages. It was a lie because it was them who were shooting, not us. We didn't have any guns or rifles. We know that our enemy has never told the truth. It's not within their nature to tell the truth. They killed their own and singled out a few of us to be killed, such as Tommy Hicks, L.D. Barkley, Santiago Santos, Rafael Vasquez, and Samuel Melville. Those brothers were actively involved in the struggle. There were others who were shot more than 5 times and were fortunate enough to live. Jomo was one of them. That was his daughter right there. He got shot 5 times. And by some fortune, he was able to make it. As I crawled, I was told to get up and strip naked and go to a circle of brothers who were walking around a circle. A few moments later, I was taken out of that circle, and an X, a chalk, white chalk, was put on my back. I was then told to go to the wall where the other brothers were standing. They were like this on the wall. That's how they were. They all had X on their backs. We were all doomed to be killed. The X was death sentence. Sign of death. What stopped this was a few people who came out of this catwalk and saw what was going on. They ordered it to stop. Meanwhile, Big Black, Frank Smith, known as Frank Smith, who was in charge of the security team, a very wonderful security team, well organized, well established. It was really good. It took a few hours for all that to happen, because at first, when Attica began, it was very chaotic. But with the help of brothers, we were able to get it all together. He was, Brother Big Black was placed on a table facing up with a basketball between his chin and his neck. And he was told that if he dropped the ball, he would get killed. Eventually, we were forced to run a gauntlet. The gauntlet was composed of 50 men, 25 on each side. As we ran through the gauntlet, we were hit all over our bodies with guns, rifles, and sticks. Ain't no joke, man. When you're running, you can't stop. You gotta keep on going, because if you stop, man, you're gonna hit you more. And that's what I did. At some point, I felt, I couldn't take it. I fell on my knees, but who cares? They still hit me. Okay. We were hit all over our bodies with guns, rifles, and sticks. Everyone was yelling as they ran in the gauntlet. I fell as I ran. I fell to the ground as I ran, and still they hit me all over my body. At the end of the gauntlet, I was put in a cell with 2 other brothers who were shot in the arm and leg. We slept on the cold floor for 3 days, 3 nights. For the next few weeks, 3 days later, we were seen by a doctor, which, by the way, was one of the Attica doctors, one of those Nazi doctors. There was 2 Nazi doctors in Attica. Nazis, really Nazis. They didn't care nothing, whether you were black or white. It doesn't matter. As far as they're concerned, you was an animal, and they would treat you just like that. So when you go to the medical for some physical illness, they give you an aspirin and drive you away. Okay, which, by the way, was one of the Attica doctors. He did very little for us. I want to make a statement very clearly. We respected and protected all the hostages from any harm. We treated the hostages with much respect than how they treated us after the takeover. In the 60s and 70s, we saw many students demonstrating in the streets and being shot and killed by the police. The Vietnam War was a rude awakening for many people, including prisoners. There were many radical students, such as Students for Democratic Society, the Black Panther Party, the Young Lord Party, and the Prison Solidarity Committee that was being led by Tom Soto, who was also a participant in the Observers Committee for the Attica Rebellion. Tom Soto was also a soldier of the revolution, of the struggle that was being conducted in the streets. He also mobilized and organized free bus transportation services to bring people to prisons. That was Tom Soto. He also stood a night in the yard with us. He sacrificed his life for us. That's why he stood that night outside in the yard with us. Okay. Bus transportation services to the families, to the prisons, to see their loved ones. He was a very dedicated brother whom us Attica Brothers love so much. I'm almost finished. Okay. Many rebellions were happening at county jails throughout the city. Sing Sing, Rikers Island, Manhattan Detention, Auburn Prison. Many brothers at Auburn came to Attica which gave us at Attica much strength. The United States was fearful of possible revolution. As a result, many students were killed. Many comrades in the Black Panther Party were also killed for political reasons. The Attica Rebellion was part of the overall rebellion that was happening around the country. It was a struggle against a cruel system who controls all the means of production that people need in order to live. People coming together caused fear for the ruling class. So we see that unity means power. The Attica struggle at first, at its birth, was very chaotic, but within hours it became a rebellion, very disciplined. 1,200 men became well organized, and we see that reality in the security that Brother Big Black organized. How it was conducted. 40 hostages were taken as hostages. But there wasn't even, when you look at it technically, we didn't even look at them as hostages. We just looked at them as human beings. And the only reason why they were in that situation is because we had to have some people in order to negotiate. We couldn't negotiate if we had no hostages. And those that live today could honestly say that we gave them much respect. Many people say that Attica began on the 8th of September. No, it didn't. Attica has a long brewing history, long before the 8th. The 8th was a spark before the fury of those who were oppressed. Remember that statement? Anyway. Today, 2024, 53 years later, we see how the building of a well-organized, well-disciplined organization called the Attica Foundation. This foundation is built in the spirit of Attica's all of us. The foundation is also a contributing factor in the closing of Attica Prison, since it serves no purpose. The foundation is also in need of finances to build our goals and objectives. Please don't contribute whatever you can. In conclusion, I want to say that we need us as well as us need you. And together we can unify our strength and resources. And together we can say Attica needs fight back. We can close Attica if we unite. Only through unity can we close Attica. Once again, together means power. Attica is all of us. Thank you very much.